It's become part of the city's culture, identity, history. But this sport goes beyond the fortress. The Scarlet and Gray.
The UNLV men's hockey team has dominated.
Our boys in silver.
It's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge. It's the right time. It feels right.
The Monsters in the north.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters. They begin playing this upcoming season.
And the next generation.
When we scored the overtime goal, it's like, really? That just happens?
The Vegas Junior Golden Knights girls made history by becoming the first female hockey team to represent the state.
They live at the rink. They love the game.
Vegas wanted hockey, Vegas got hockey.
Covering every local team on the ice, this is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm your host, Vince Sapienza. We are a quarter of the way through the NHL season, and the Golden Knights sit atop their division, while the Silver Knights are staring all the way up in theirs. But before we get too far up the ice, let's fire home a snapshot of what is in store over the next 30 minutes. We'll look back at the week that was, which was filled. Milestones, a contract extension, and a little controversy. We'll give you the latest on Gold Friday and where you can get the best deals on your VGK merch. We'll highlight the Hockey Fights Cancer initiative and why it means a little more to one Silver Knights defenseman. Plus, the Skate Rebels pull off the Chicago sweep. We'll hear from head coach Anthony Vinieri-Greener. Well, the Golden Knights road trip got off to a sluggish start in Toronto. Vegas suffered their first shutout in more than 10 months, falling 3-0 to the Maple Leafs. But the story in this one was the physicality and the controversy that resulted from it. It started in the first period when Shea Theodore took this massive hit near mid-ice. Nikita Grabenka, making his NHL debut for the Maple Leafs, commits what looks to be an obvious boarding call, but the refs say no penalty, we play on. Then in the second, Zach Whitecloud and Matthew Knies, well, they're going to have a collision of epic proportions. Initially ruled a 5-minute major to Whitecloud, the refs would take a look, say it was a clean hit, much to the dismay of the Toronto faithful. Now, this hit, along with a few others around the league, caused so much of a stir that the NHL Department of Player Safety felt compelled to dispel the confusion on what is a legal hit and what is not.
Rule 48, which reads in part, a hit resulting in contact with an opponent's head where the head was the main point of contact and such contact to the head was avoidable is not permitted. On the hit by Whitecloud, Whitecloud hits through the body of Knies. While there is inarguably head contact here, we see Knies' entire body stopped in its tracks and driven backwards simultaneously with his head in a way that indicates the body absorbed the force of this check. Whitecloud takes a good angle of approach, stepping up directly through Knies' core. And while Whitecloud does come up off the ice due to the force of the contact of the hit, he does not elevate up excessively or unnecessarily to pick the head as he delivers the check. This means that the head contact on this play is considered unavoidable head contact on a play where the hitter is throwing an otherwise legal full body check. We hope this helps you to better understand Rule 48, the illegal check to the head rule.
All right, now that we got that cleared up, it's time for another story that needs some context. Ilya Samsonov and Linus Ullmark went head-to-head in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs a year ago. Samsonov lost 4 of 5 games for the Maple Leafs in that series as Ullmark and the Bruins advanced, winning in 7 games, which led to this opinion from Ullmark this past summer when asked about that particular playoff series, saying, quote, I was surprised that they kept Samsonov in for that many games against us in the playoffs. I felt that every time we played the Leafs and Joseph Woll was in net, it felt like it was more of a challenge, even though I'm not a player. Just watching him, it looked like he was in so much more control of that situation that was thrown at him. So, clearly some shade thrown at Samsonov. Well, the newest Knights netminder not only heard what was said, but when given the opportunity, responded to an Instagram post of Ullmark saying November 21st, keep your blank shut, or are you injured again? So, in comes November 21st, and it was time to settle the feud between Samsonov and Ullmark. Both would get the start, but only one would get the win. And for Sammy, you could argue he put together his best performance in a Golden Knights sweater to date, making 38 saves in the 3-2 victory, his 4th win of the season.
Nothing, like I just not think today a lot. I'm just enjoy the moment. Still, we play in Canada, yeah. As Ottawa is a huge hockey city too. Like I'm so enjoy it.
He's a fun guy to be around. Always makes a lot of jokes, and he had a tough bounce the last game he played against Washington, and but he was just outstanding today for us. He made a lot of saves against a really skilled team, and he obviously kept us in the game too. Like they had a lot of good looks, and he was just really good for us today.
Now, aside from the goalie beef, it was a milestone night for head coach Bruce Cassidy. The Ottawa native, who played his junior hockey for the Ottawa 67s, became the 8th active coach in the NHL to hit the 400 win mark, his 108th with the Golden Knights.
Well, it feels great. You never know where your numbers are going to end up, but I'm going to tell you, in this business, I'm just worried about number 401 right now.
After a win in the Canadian capital, Samsonov was happy, Cassidy was happy, but no one had a bigger smile after the game than Brett Howden. Not only did he score his 8th goal of the season, matching his total from a year ago in 45 fewer games, the 26-year-old was rewarded with a new contract extension, a 5-year deal with an average annual value of $2.5 million this week. He reflected on what it's been like since he arrived in Vegas 3 years ago.
Getting the chance to start somewhere fresh and new was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. Coming to a new spot and a winning culture as well. Really helped change my game, and then I just think over the years built more confidence, and I'm surrounded by such great players that it's easy to learn from and easy to play with. So I just feel very grateful that I was given the opportunity to come here. Vegas really means a lot to us, and we just feel so comfortable there. We love the city, we love the team, the organization. Everybody here makes us feel so comfortable, and obviously for me, I believe in what they're doing here at a hockey standpoint. So me as myself and for our family, we just are very, very grateful to be able to stay here.
And the good times continue to roll in Montreal. The Golden Knights offense erupted to the tune of 5 goals in the second period. It's just the 3rd time in franchise history they've accomplished that feat. Cal Burke, in just his 3rd game with the Golden Knights, notches his first National Hockey League goal and the 2nd goal in the middle stanza. Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel with the assist. Eichel, in his 21st game of the year, became the fastest player in team history to reach the 30-point plateau. A 3-point night for number 9 as Vegas crushed the Canadiens 6-2.
Score my first goal assisted by Eichel and Barbashev is pretty good. Barbie made a good pass, put it on a platter for me. So team was great. I mean, this is a tough building to play in. It's loud. There's a lot of people, but I thought we came out well and we were strong all the way through. It feels great to walk out of here with a win. My dad's here. And he's kind of got in his gym back home. He's got all of our memorabilia from me and my brothers from when we were playing. So I think I'm going to give it to him today and have him take it home. He was my first coach growing up, and he's been there every step of the way. So yeah, it's cool.
Now, speaking of family, while everyone fixates on the feasts that await many on Thanksgiving, the Medieval Maniacs have their sights set on Black Friday, or as the VGK call it, Gold Friday. Us here at Hockey in the Desert Weekly, we're giving a sneak peek at the deals that await those who show up to the Arsenal at City National Arena.
It's super exciting. There's a lot of work that went into it, and we want to make sure that we create a great experience for everybody. A lot of things happening. Right when you walk in, there's going to be a spinning wheel where you're going to win a prize or a promotion and or an offer. Once you come in, 20% off our entire store of all regular price merchandise from 8 to 11. With the purchase in the mornings or all throughout the day, you're going to get a free gift automatically. So that's exciting. With any purchase over $150, this is my favorite part, you get to be entered into a drawing to win a prize, which is a meet and greet with a VGK player. So that's fun. We're going to have a DJ out there, lots of fun things going on. We've got some jerseys, we've got some t-shirts, we've got hoodies to help support the Hockey Fights Cancer. In addition to that, we've gotten a lot of new items in the store. Some of the puffer jackets that we just got in, we've got some hoodies here. A lot of ornaments that we've also gotten in for the season, which are exciting, and a lot of kids' gift ideas. Some of the other new product that we have, some of these fun ponchos, so those are great. And we also have, for the kids, Chance hoodies. I mean, who would want to have that? Cute little tail on the back, so that's going to be available here on Black Friday. In addition to that, we've got some jerseys up on the wall. Every hockey fan needs a jersey, so we've got that up on the wall here. All the players, we do customizations here. We're going to have other promotions going on throughout the weekend, all weekend long, not just Friday. We want to make it a gold weekend, so it's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with all these fun promotions in the store. So yeah, I'm anxious, I'm excited, so we're looking forward to it.
Now, despite all the ice, we are just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, we look back at the Silver Knights Hockey Fights Cancer Weekend and why it hit home to one player in particular. Keep it here.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. Over the weekend, the Silver Knights held their annual Hockey Fights Cancer Night, as they've done every year in existence. But this one had a different feel just days before. Henderson defenseman Mason Geertsen announced that in November of 2023, he was diagnosed with cancer. 12 months later, he's in remission and ready to share his story.
November 25th, I stepped on a puck in warm-ups and tweaked my knee. The following Monday, I went and got an MRI done on the 27th of November. When the MRI came out, my bone marrow looked a little weird, so they were kind of worried about that. So I went and got X-ray done after that. I got some blood work, and the doctor wasn't sure what it was, but they wanted to get a look at it. So after the season, they just wanted to check in and see how it was, and it had gotten worse in my bone marrow, so they were obviously worried about that. So then I went to California, got a biopsy, and 2 weeks later, I found out that I had B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in my joints, in both my knees and my left hip.
Well, obviously you're taken aback anytime you heard the word cancer, something that's affected all of us. But I think the thing that struck me was the positive outlook Mason had, the thankfulness for the discovery and how it was discovered, and then the willingness to fight and obviously take on cancer. Not surprised one bit. His personality, how he plays the game, how he is just a stand-up person and player, and I think that's what it was with his fight against cancer. Early screening, detection, treatment, all those things. Just a support system. If we can brighten somebody's day or play a hockey game to support cancer, I think that's important.
I got super lucky, especially in the profession I am, and hurting my knee was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, for sure, which is crazy to think about. But currently I am in remission. I got treatment before the season. Everything's looking good right now, so we're kind of just in observing it phase, and I completely changed my perspective on life and everything, like getting to play every day and come to the rink. I'm definitely excited, and I'm definitely grateful every day I'll be here, for sure. With the right mindset and the right support group and like that, you can still live a normal life. I think that's the biggest thing. I want to thank the Golden Knights and everything for how much they have been there for me, my family, and I'm truly grateful for everything they've done for me during this journey, for sure.
Including the game against the Night Monsters 2 days ago. Newell accelerates, finds Nelson, backhand, forehand, score! Logan Nelson calls game! The first overtime game-winning goal in Night Monsters franchise history!
Hockey history continues to be written in Tahoe. The Night Monsters have opened up their inaugural season with 7 wins in their first 13 games, picking up points in all but 4 of them. Now, this past weekend, the Golden Knights ECHL affiliate had a chance for their first franchise series sweep. Fortunately, they fell in Game 3, taking the first 2 against the number 2 team in the Western Conference, the Kansas City Mavericks. After playing 11 of their first 13 games at the Tahoe Blue Event Center, the Night Monsters will now hit the road for their next 7 games starting Wednesday in Idaho. And don't forget, if you can't get up to Tahoe, you can watch the Night Monsters on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Here's a look at your next chances to do so starting on Thursday, December 12th. Still ahead on Hockey in the Desert Weekly, it is time to turn our attention to the Scarlet and Gray, the Skating Rebels in the Windy City over the weekend for the Chicago Classic. We'll show you how they fared, plus hear from UNLV bench boss Anthony Vinieri-Greener. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We've talked gold, silver. Now it's time for a little scarlet and gray who just went undefeated at the Chicago Classic Tournament. And to help explain the magnitude of such a performance, we bring in Skating Rebels bench boss Anthony Vinieri Greener. Coach, 3 games, 3 wins. You've told me before this is almost a primer for the national tournament in the spring. What felt different this time around with the group?
I think that, like you said, it's just a pre-prep for the national tournament. You're playing 3 top-end teams in 3 games with quick turnarounds. So for us, it was just about 1 game at a time. We talked about it all week. 2 weeks ago, we had a team meeting. Staff brought everybody in and said, hey, let's give us 14 days. We want to go all in for 14 days. Then we can go on break and spend time and recharge the batteries. I'm sure they're sick of hearing our voice over and over, pounding in their heads, but they gave us 14 days, and the message was, let's take care of Utah. Take care of Utah. Let's get to Chicago, settle in, and then let's worry about Delaware game 1. And they handle business. Move on to step 2. Obviously, Jamestown, best competition down here by far, and yeah, we took care of business there. And then 3 kind of felt like a little bit of a trap game against you, Mary. It could have been a trap game, but the boys handled it really well. Good in the D zone, and great to see.
Now, each opponent UNLV hockey faced over the weekend had a number next to their name, but the biggest name and number was 3rd-ranked Jamestown. I know it's just 1 game, but how excited and pleased are you with not only the 2-1 victory, but just the performance against a top team in the country?
Yeah, we talked about, before the game, it's going to need a lot of energy and effort and execute. They showed some adversity there. Just we battled through it. We're down 1-0 on a kind of a fluke play where our D-man jumps and pinches probably where he shouldn't have. And then we got 5 guys looking at the puck. The kid makes a good play from back in the net and kind of leaves Doug out to dry. But other than that, we settled right back in, got back on the board. And then we scored a power play goal right before the period ended and really got the things going. So, just overall as a staff, we look at it, like you said, it's extremely early in the year, but we are pleased how they played. We're pleased how they responded. Definitely proud of how they handled the game and the weekend. But, we played to our systems. We got to, what our identity is right away. And I think that helped leading into the Delaware game. Get to our identity as fast as we can and then, take that game into Jamestown. And we had some momentum. And, just overall proud of the boys.
What did you learn from your group, not just over the weekend, but the first 2 months of your season?
I learned that we're deep. I mean, we're deep in back end goalies. We got, 3 great goalies back there. Then our D are holding it down by Dells and a couple of freshmen that are just coming in there and logging a ton of minutes with Kunze and Nags. They're for a freshman to be eating that much ice time and with the D core that we've already had, that's a huge help. And then now with me running the forwards, I can feel comfortable running, 4 lines whenever we want. I think I've tightened the bench maybe at 2 or 3 games this whole front end of this season. So it just shows the faith and, the faith I have in, all 4 lines. Plus we have, 5 healthy scratchers chomping at the bit to get in the lineup.
Now, Coach, we're always going to compare and contrast this group to the one who made the national championship game a year ago. Is this group ahead of schedule compared to then, or do you even look at it through that lens?
No, I don't really look at it like that. But if you told myself and the rest of the coaching staff, hey, you're going to be 11-1 right before Thanksgiving break, I guarantee you every coach in this league is going to say, yeah, we're going to take that. We've had some blowout wins. We've had some tight wins. We've played gritty games. We've played fast-paced games. We've battled through adversity when we're down in games. So there was a little bit of everything. Again, it's a small sample size, but overall, proud of them. And they know that this break is needed. They get this break. I'm huge on family, huge on friends, rest, recover. And then, we come right back, and now you're going to play a top 10 team then with GCU, and then you got ASU, and then we're heading off to Denver and to play the defending national champions at the NCAA Division I level, and then followed by CC the next night. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, but I love where we're at right now.
I know you and your group are hockey junkies, but is the message during the break to get away from the game, recharge, reset? Because This is the only true break you guys have on your schedule.
Yeah, we normally get a Christmas break, but these guys are so committed and want to play those division games. They're not going to go home for Christmas. So for them to all sacrifice their Christmas time with family and friends, we give them a little extra break over Thanksgiving. So yeah, put your stick down for a bit, put your gear down for a bit, stay in the gym, making sure you're working out, but more so just recovering. You play 7 straight weeks, you get little bumps and bruises, little nagging injuries that the trainer can't fix, kind of thing. It's just the only thing that heals those is time. So this will be a good time where you're resting and recovering, but also you just spend time with your family and friends. So I think that it's just a mutual benefit for both ends, where everybody can just recharge the batteries, come back refreshed, and then by mid next week, these guys are going to be chomping at the bit to get back to the rink.
UNLV hockey head coach Anthony Vinieri Greener. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats again on the weekend. Enjoy the family time. We'll chat down the line.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Vince.
We're taking one more break here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, it's time to clear the ice. Keep it here. Welcome back to Hockey in the Desert Weekly. As we wrap up our time now, it is once again time to clear the ice.
Blumel gets the puck back, brings it up top. Matej Blumel with a new twig. Backdoor to Hughes, all alone through the legs! Oh my goodness, what a goal! He scores!
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Cameron Hughes putting in his application for goal of the century. This one had everything. Shades of William Karlsson, through the legs, top shelf, bar down, and in overtime, no less. Now, fun fact, he played a couple games under head coach Bruce Cassidy in Boston. Now he's with the Stars AHL affiliate. That is how you clear the ice. Thanks for joining us on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We'll see you next week.